always very passionate about exercising my civic duty. So it's interesting to be involved in a different way.
We had a setup in mind, but when we got to the location, we found out that some things were not movable.
We had issues with the banks, making a payment and they wouldn't receive value, but it has left our account. So what do I do? I have to communicate it. So
it's been exciting, it's been interesting, but it's also been a learning experience.
I'm really excited. I'm excited because this was a very challenging but also humbling experience. I think for me, I wouldn't have really appreciated if it was really easy. When it's too easy for me, it means I'm not growing. It means I already have a pattern. But when something is challenging, I'm kind of thinking about solutions. I'm thinking about ways I can do things better. I also know that because we've grown so fast at a very rapid pace, there's almost no room for mistakes. People are really hard on us. We can't make mistakes. And that puts you in a place of near perfection. And I always tell my staff that I'm not allowed to fail because people do not allow me to fail.
I was contacted by ElectHER about becoming one of the hosts for the podcast. And, she mentioned that someone had recommended me to her, which I was just like, okay, it means that, people identify with what my interests are. I think I consider myself as someone that's always been very politically engaged. And I've always tried to make sure that I use my platform to talk about the issues that are happening in Nigeria. And of course, I was already familiar with ElectHER because of the work that they've been doing.
I've been in a few political spaces here and there. So when I went for the Obìnrin project, myself and ElectHER, first time we were meeting and we had a few conversations, and it just seemed like the perfect time to work on an introduction of a potential, beautiful, politically inclined relationship. So when this was going to happen, she reached out to me personally, and she was like, she's working on something that she actually was going to be interested. And the rest is history.
We've been planning for over a month, so we started early January for this, technically early January for this. So the plannings had to do with getting the details of people who we're going to work with, then the process to get these people to work with us based on our compliance criteria. The setting of the hub had a lot of activities. I was in charge of logistics. So logistics simply means I was in charge of movement of people, transportation, accommodation, and welfare too.
Several reached out to me. Before now, we've done videos for the ElectHER team. We've worked with them like twice in the past. And he reached out to me and said, oh, okay, so they have this thing coming up. At first, I was a bit skeptical, because anything that has to do with elections, you have to be very careful, with the rumors of election violence and all of that. But then he reassured me that it's a data center, out there and everything. And I thought that, okay, maybe we can do this, and yeah.
No, not because you have this. You guys, production. What now? Well, we've taken.
Can't know your buttons. Can't do what are dead. We are done, yo. This type of
Video is one of those formats where you feed almost all your senses. You're feeding your eyes, your ears, and all. And in order for you to enjoy the content, you also have to be satisfied with what you're looking at. And so that was, it wasn't, I won't call it an argument. I think it was constructive conversation, and we were able to come to a compromise. I think it's been very effective for all of us.
First of all, before you do anything, right, even in life and of course in policy and in this kind of space, you have to have a direction. So the electoral process had to have a policy direction, what we're trying to achieve with the elections hub, right? Because we can't all come here, have these discussions and all of that without having a clear objective. And so I worked with the team to help to build that objective. And I've also coordinating the electoral activities and the elections hub.
It's been mixed. It's been a mix of emotions this past days. I've seen myself go from 0 to 100 in a minute and 100 to 0 in a minute. I've really challenged myself. I found myself screaming my lungs out. I wake up with anxiety. It's just been a whole lot. I've been building tech for a while.
It's the first time I've actually really built tech. I was like top developer. And then on the next Sunday, the platform was working.
I was panicked. There was just, and I remember I just was like, I need a hug. I need my parents.
I feel like every single person in the team's role has evolved from planning to execution, because it's like a juggling thing, and you have to make sure that none of the balls that you're juggling falls to the ground, because there's so many different aspects to the elections hub. We have the podcast, we have the data analysis, we have the analytics platform, we have the Lagos hub as well. In addition to that, we have a couple of policy papers that we publish. We publish about 4 policy papers, and so that's literally a lot of things, a lot of balls that are running in the air, and so everybody had to just put hands together to make sure that all of the things that we're juggling to ensure that the elections hub comes to life, nothing falls to the ground.
I'm the program officer, so I'm like the central point for everyone. Initially started from the office, so putting up documents together that we'll do about logistics to election day and all of that. Then at one point I became deputy finance for the whole project. Then at one point I became logistics officer and admin. Then became liaison officer as well. So I was just, but it's really been an interesting one.
I think every project is like a fingerprint. It's unique. We were able to plan, put together a plan, put together a team, both from Lagos and from here in Abuja as well. And it's been very exciting. It's been some tough days and some long nights, but I think all in all, it's been worth it, and it's been a very enjoyable experience.
Opening shots, slider, right to left. Right. 3, 2, 1, action.
Hi guys, welcome to Keeping It 100. This is a podcast presented by ElectHER. My name is Paul.
I've been to quite a number of situation rooms, and what I find interesting is the interactive podcast that allows for conversations around the elections in an unusual way. It's a step in the right direction, and I think that we can only build on this, because I would say we, because I see myself as part of the ElectHER family. I think that well done to the team, well done to all of the production team who's been involved in this, and I think that we must continue to stay vigilant and ensure that we have an informed and active citizenry.
I've been in policy space for maybe like about 5 years now, and I thought that I was a know-it-all. But I've gotten to learn so much about Nigeria, learning from other international observers about things that are being done in other countries, and so that level of international best practices that I didn't know before, I've gotten to learn a lot from this process. I've also gotten to learn a lot about myself, because when you're under pressure, you get to, see sides of yourself that you haven't before.
For once to have a better output or good output, there's a lot of work and stress that goes into it, which is kind of normal. So yeah, those stressful, but the output is what is keeping us going. Experiencing the elections from this side was interesting for me, because I have now been part of the story, seeing how people actually vote from the beginning, the mid, and the end. I have not experienced that before, so this was quite interesting for me too. That's why I was just looking forward to every day, from the logistics, nightmare, to the achievements, and now the real story, the real election story in Abuja here.
Now I think I'm being emotional, just seeing how the past 3 days manifested, because it's like you're not thinking, you're just going. And now you're just calm, you're experiencing it all over again. It's like a deja vu, and then you're just experiencing it all over again, and you're playing a lot of things in your head. And I'm looking at all this and I'm like, how did we do this, But yeah, I think I'm grateful, and I think I want to keep doing this.
That's what matters. Yeah.